What is brainstorming and what is it about? Well, let me introduce to you Team Caffeinated. The team consists of Samara, Nina, Maria, Jessica, Aaron, and Smeet. And today we're going to talk to you about the brainstorming process in teams. Well, let's go and find out. The agenda for today includes fostering creativity in teams, effective brainstorming, evidence-based brainstorming methods, psychological safety in brainstorming, pitfalls of brainstorming, and finally, the action items. And let me introduce to you Samara, who's going to take it away with fostering creativity in teams.
Fostering creativity within teams is an essential responsibility that leaders must prioritize to drive innovation. Creativity flourishes under leaders who champion unconventional approaches and encourage the creation of new ideas. For creativity to thrive, leaders must first understand what it looks like and how it manifests in team dynamics. Here are some key ways leaders can promote creativity within their teams. Number 1, encourage the free communication of multiple ideas. When team members feel comfortable sharing ideas, even those that seem unconventional, the team gains the ability to explore a broader range of outcomes. This openness enhances creativity and flexibility, enabling teams to pivot when needed because all ideas were explored. 2, create a safe space for sharing. Creativity is often suppressed when people fear judgment. Many great ideas go unheard simply because individuals are afraid to speak up. Leaders must cultivate a culture where all contributions are valued and team members feel safe to express their thoughts. 3, embrace failure as part of the creative process. Let your team know it's okay to fail. Even when an idea doesn't work out, it can still contribute to the team's progress. Failure is an essential part of innovation. It helps refine ideas, sparks new thinking, and leads to stronger outcomes over time. 4, make the most of team sessions. Leaders should aim to design team meetings that are flexible and collaborative rather than overly rigid. Meetings should allow time for open discussion, idea exchange, and brainstorming, giving creativity the space it needs to thrive. Now I will pass it on to Nina, who will expand on effective brainstorming.
Hi everyone, I'm Nina, and I'm going to be taking us through the components a team should focus on to ensure an effective brainstorming process. Starting off with psychological safety, we will talk about this more in depth in the presentation later, but it is very critical to ensure an environment with psychological safety to have an effective brainstorming process. Second, mental preparation is important as well, setting clear objectives and preparing an open mind to receive ideas and interact with others before entering the session. Next, best practices, knowing these tips like taking breaks and remembering to review and refine ideas at the end of the session. Next is structured techniques. Brainwriting, 635, and other controlled methods can help some teams, but it's not required. The brainwriting 635 is a controlled session with 5 members that ends up with 108 ideas at the end. I'll explain it more in depth in the takeaway sheet as well, but we'll also talk on some other controlled methods later in this presentation. Next is awareness, being aware of common challenges before the brainstorming session takes place so that you can be in front of it and make sure that you do all the necessary steps beforehand to get in front of things like evaluation apprehension, which you can get ahead of with psychological safety and creating a supportive environment, which is my last point. So those are the core components of effective brainstorming.
Some brainstorming methods that have shown positive results are the following. Brainwriting, pushing a team to build on each other's ideas. Rapid ideation, encouraging a quick collection of raw thoughts. Figure storming, pushing participants to ask themselves how a famous person would approach a similar situation. Eidetic image method, focusing on the visualization exercises to improve an existing idea. Online brainstorming, pushing for idea sharing across remote teams. Round robin, encouraging all team members to contribute at least one original idea before discussion. Step ladder, gradually introducing participants into discussion. Mind mapping, drawing sub-ideas from one main idea. Starbursting, examining an established idea from every angle, asking questions such as who, what, where, why, and how. And change of scenery, where the physical place in which a brainstorming session is taking place is shifted. Additional methods that have resulted effective in the workplace also are An innovation challenge, which consists in dividing participants into groups to solve business challenges. New employees, encouraging new hires to participate in brainstorming sessions as they tend to have fresher ideas coming from the outside. And work retreats every so often, with the idea that a new environment can spark creativity, collaboration, and new ideas.
Thank you, Maria. We're going to now talk about the importance of psychological safety in brainstorming. How does psychological safety play a role in brainstorming? For team members to share new ideas and to brainstorm, they need to trust that they can speak up without embarrassment or judgment from their other team members or leaders. Their sense of psychological safety shouldn't mean complacency. We want them to work hard and have good ideas. But the key is that you should avoid creating a culture with interpersonal fear. In general, team members should fear more missing out of an idea than fear sharing a bad idea. It should give people space to share ideas even if you haven't fully thought them out. Team leaders need to model the concept of productive failures, where you learn from what's not working. Leaning into the idea of productive failure will increase the overall creativity of the team. What are the benefits to psychological safety? Your team will be more creative and generate more ideas. Your team members will have better self-esteem, be more willing to collaborate between their teams and not just within their team, and be more invested in positive outcomes for the team's work. They're going to be more open to learning from others and teaching others because they're not as anxious about making mistakes. How can team leaders increase psychological safety when they're doing brainstorming? They need to model positive supportive language. They need to recognize team members when they contribute or collaborate. They need to give space to create relationships between team members by hosting formal and informal meetings before and during brainstorming sessions. And team members should feel empowered to suggest strategies that can improve communication and collaboration within brainstorming sessions.
Brainstorming is often seen as a great way to generate ideas, but it comes with challenges, especially in group settings. Research suggests that individuals produce more original work when they work alone rather than in a group. This is because group brainstorming can lead to common pitfalls like groupthink, social anxiety, and a lack of diversity in thought. For example, groupthink occurs when people in a group conform to similar ideas rather than voicing their own opinions. As a result, innovative or unconventional ideas may never be shared or explored. As far as social anxiety in a group setting goes, some worry about being wrong or hesitate to share their viewpoints. And valuable ideas are left unsaid because the environment doesn't feel psychologically safe for all participants, as we already mentioned in our presentation. And also, another challenge is a lack of diversity in thought as a common issue. If a group consists of individuals with similar backgrounds, experiences, or perspectives, they will likely have the same ideas and may lose a sense of creativity, or worse, lack of thinking about how their decisions may impact other people. But there are ways to challenge these narratives and improve the brainstorming process. One of the solutions first is to foster a sense of community. When people feel appreciated and included, they're more likely to share their ideas in a group setting. Encouraging open dialogue and building connections with others helps create an environment where people are encouraged to share their ideas. Another idea for how to improve these breakdowns of communication in brainstorming is have leaders sharing their ideas last. When leaders speak first, it can unintentionally set the tone and influence the direction of the meeting or discussion. Instead, leaders should encourage team members to speak first, and this also helps prevent groupthink that's only from the leader's vantage point. Another idea is to support different learning styles. Not everyone thrives in a fast-paced verbal brainstorming session. Similarly, some people don't enjoy working alone. And by offering multiple ways to participate, such as writing ideas down before a meeting or setting aside time for follow-up discussions, we can create a more productive brainstorming process for everyone involved.
Thank you, Erin. Hey everyone, my name is Smeet Shah, and I'll be discussing about the key takeaways regarding action items that emerge from brainstorming sessions. First, it's essential to define clear objectives. Before we start brainstorming, we must identify specific goals for the session. This focus ensures that our discussions remain aligned and productive. Next, we need to align and assign responsibilities. Delegating tasks to team members not only clarifies who is accountable for what, but also empowers them to take ownerships of their own contributions. Setting deadlines is another critical step. Establishing timelines for action items helps to keep the momentum going and ensures that our ideas are implemented in a timely manner. In addition, regular follow-ups are vital. Scheduling check-ins allows us to monitor progress, address any challenges, and keeps the team engaged and motivated. Finally, we must evaluate the outcomes. Reviewing results and adjusting our strategies ensures that we learn from our experiences and continually improve our approach. In conclusion, effective action items are crucial for turning brainstorming ideas into tangible results. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.